Well, I did it. I said I was never going to do it in this tank, but I did it. I put some ram's horns in the 10-gallon. I really didn't want them in here. I really, really didn't, because they can create such a problem in a tank. They're such prolific breeders. And they do eat plants. I know a lot of people say they only eat dead and decaying ones, but they don't. They eat healthy plants if they're hungry enough. And if you get them on a feed schedule, you change it, they freak out and start eating everything in sight. But I've had a problem. I've had a couple mini crashes. I've got it back to good. My nitrates are a little high again, but I'm trying not to vacuum too much because I now also have, well, I had 9 assassin snails I had put in here, which is why I had to put ram's horns in, because I went from, I actually had 10 and one died within a couple days of receiving it, so I kind of don't count him. So I had 9 for the longest time, and you know, I've got some older shrimp in here and they would die, and instead of pulling them out, I'd leave them for the assassins to eat. I was pulling them up and putting them in the floating breeding box with some ram's horns for a couple days, and I think that was just too stressful for them. And they weren't eating. They like the little shrimp pellets, the dead shrimp when they show up, but there's just not enough dead shrimp and stuff for them to eat, I think. And I think I've lost several. I regularly see 3 now. Today I thought I was down to 2, but I did end up seeing 3. And I'm hoping one's a male and one's a female, because I would like more to breed. I would like to have them more. They really, really, really like hanging out. Where's my finger? There's a finger. Over in this corner right here. You can actually, I don't know if you can actually see it. There's one right there in the corner. He's kind of behind the silicone though. They really like this corner. I pulled that giant moss ball out. I put some moss in a frame. Hopefully that'll grow. But I think the majority of the assassin snails have just starved to death. And I didn't want them. This is my biggest tank and my best tank, and the parameters are a little more stable. Whereas in my smaller tanks, I mean, you all know, the smaller the tank, the more work and the harder it is to maintain a balance. And assassins seem pretty sensitive. So I think I was just covering the mic up again because I'm an idiot. So anyways, yeah, assassins seem pretty sensitive. So rather than pulling them out of here in the best tank and dropping them into the tanks with the ram's horns I really want them to eat up, I went ahead and I took the plunge and I tossed some in here. I think I put 5 in. 3 are about the same size. 1 is really, really kind of small. He can grow into the tank. And then 1 is kind of mid-size. I'll try to get some footage later of the assassins. They don't... Usually the only time I see them on this front area is when they're just kind of going to another corner. They really like the corners. Hopefully more will show up. But it's been pretty consistently 3 for a while, and I feel bad. I was trying to feed them. So I've actually got a new plant right there. He's just kind of soaking. You can see the roots. I just got him out of his rock wool. tossed him in there. I actually already buried another piece. He was one plant, but he separated into two. I got another piece over here by the banana plant. So, oh, and I got, look at my hand glare. That's terrible. So I'll use my hand glare. You can see right here, I've got a Soching oxidizer. Yay! Super stoked about that. We've got an inner circulator in here now, so it's moving the water, and that's good. I think I wanted the oxidator in here more than any because there's so many plants. And I keep my lights on for probably about 11, 12 hours a day on this tank, but you know, once the lights go out, these things start using oxygen rather than making it. So I wanted to make sure everybody in the tank, specifically the shrimp seemed to be fine before the oxidator, but specifically for the assassins, I wanted to make sure they had plenty of oxygen in here because they don't seem to be waterline loiterers. They have a pretty good time hanging out down there. And gravel vacuuming as if it wasn't difficult enough before with all these plants and stuff. Now I've got snails that bury themselves into the substrate. So it's entirely possible the last time I vacuumed, I very possibly could have killed one or two. It's dark substrate. I don't know. We'll see, but regardless, oh yeah, and the fact that now the way assassin snails lay their eggs, they don't lay eggs in sacks on the glass like everybody else. They want to lay one pouch, one egg on a plant leaf, then they want to lay one on a rock, then they want to lay one on the pagoda, then they want to lay one on the oxygen, you know what I mean? So gravel vacuuming might prove to be a bigger challenge than normal. We pulled one of our pothos out and planted it. We've got lilies blooming again up here. That new plant I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put it. There's not a lot of room in here. You can see his little roots. He's laying sideways. It's a cryptocorin red Wenti red, which is cool because I found it in the pet store and I got my first one about a year ago. I only found its name out when I bought this from the dude, but that plant is actually, I can pull back here a little bit, this big red plant right here that I'm shooing shrimp out of, that's actually this plant, and it's doing really, really well in my tank. This was one of the ones a while ago I wanted help identifying because I didn't know what it was. That cup's really in the way. But yeah, anyways, that's what it is. It's cryptocorin Wenti red. And then I've got that crypt there. It's done really well. So crypts do good in my tank. So looks like we need to trim some pothos roots. Yeah, they're getting pretty long. So yeah. Ram's horns in the 10-gallon, guys. It feels like I'm rolling the dice on it. I know they need food. They need food. I guess I'm just going to have to start smishing babies and keep the population under control that way. I don't know. We'll see.